Hello, good morning. I've just started the day really well with stinging myself. You can tell I'm very out of practice. I used to do loads of walking pre-kids. It was kind of my therapy. But this is probably the first time I've come down this track since pre-kids. It's been that long. So for those of you who do not know me, I'm an unpaid carer, I am a creative, I am an author, I am a wannabe coder, and a mummy of 2. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, like, share, comment. And I'm just admiring these lovely primroses. It's a lovely spring morning, a bit cloudy, but here we are. Also very unfit, by the way, so excuse the puffing. Here we are. Come and walk with me on a lovely spring April morning walk. I love seeing all the blossom in the spring. It's lovely. As I say, it's been so long since I had a walk up here. I'm hoping I'm like a homing pigeon and I can remember how to get back. There was one time I did actually get lost because it's notorious this side of the island for mist, and I was quite young and got very misty all of a sudden in this field of cows, and I started to panic because I couldn't see in front of my face and I didn't know where I was going. Luckily, I heard the cars on the road, which gave me a better sense of direction, and I got back. But out of the many walks I did, that's probably the first and only time I got lost. But basically, this is my childhood, and it certainly encouraged my creativity growing up in the countryside, because basically you have to find your own things to do. You don't see many people, and I suppose, yeah, it pushes those creative boundaries. And just listening to the bird song, it's absolutely beautiful. It's so peaceful. You can see why people move here. We've absolutely been inundated with people moving here, relocating here. There's a rapeseed. I always love the colour. It does occasionally make me sneeze though. So pretty. I just wish the sun would come out a bit. It's meant to later. And this has kind of been my home since, crikey, on and off, 1984. So I've been here a long time. Do I think I'm going to stay here? Honestly, it's getting very, sorry, finger there. Honestly, it's getting very crowded, too crowded, and the rent is just, trying to find somewhere to live is a nightmare. Oh, butterfly, where you gone? I think the main issue for me is jobs on the island, or lack of. I really kind of want to get back to my career, and I always find that such a struggle. And I feel like I've lived here too long. It's almost like, it's very beautiful and it's very quiet, but I feel like I've more than outgrown where I live, and it's not somewhere I want to end up. And I miss being near things and not having to get a boat, saving the money to afford the boat. Can't remember how much the boat was last time we went. So it was a week's return, so it's going out for a week, coming back. I think it was about £140. I think it was about 140. Now that's a lot of money to find if you haven't got it. So I have to pay that in instalments. But it's a feeling you get as well when you miss the ferry. That's a bit rubbish, and then you have to wait and pray that you get on the next one, and then you have to wait like an hour or 2 hours. That's when they are running. But hey, we all moan about the boats here. It's fine if you don't have to go to work or have a career. You want a quiet life, you want to retire. Okay, this is where I get lost now. I think there's a boat on over there. Look at that. I think I go straight on. Yeah, so if you want a quiet life, a slower pace of life, then yeah, go for it if you want to move here. If you want a career, it's a hard one, really hard. It's great for bringing the kids up because they've got all this to play with. I mean, it's amazing. It's nature's playground. But when they kind of get older, start thinking about jobs and being teens and everything else, it gets a hell of a lot more challenging. And I can, of course, speak from experience. Hence why I went off the island for a while to study and do a few jobs in print, publishing, production, and things like that, and teaching. And it's very beautiful, but I definitely feel if I could move tomorrow, I would. I think my other concern is the schools. Not doing too good with the schools. And having been in a state school on the island and really struggled, I am worried. So there's those things as well. And although I think it would be bittersweet for me, as I say, if I could move tomorrow, I would. But there's a lot of things I'd be... Hang on. It's very hard trying to do this because I'm also carrying a load of stuff thinking, it'll be cold, it'll be windy. It's neither. Because where it's so coastal, usually it's quite cold. Oh, I do miss this. When I've got the energy, of course, I do miss this. And I think the other thing with me as well is there was like a massive culture shock when I went from a village to a big city. Massive culture shock that was. Suddenly I was in a city where there were guns and just all sorts of things that you would find in a city, which I'm not going to go into too much gruesome detail. Massive culture shock. So you were quite protected here as a child and almost like a little bubble. Would I go back to the city? Probably not. But I would go back to the mainland. And I'm hoping to one day. Because I've gone through a lot in my life and I'm not going to be a victim. I just refuse. And I have many blessings. But I think we're also desperate for a fresh start. Really. If you've got any questions about living on the island, you ask away in the comments below, by all means, and I'll see if I can answer them. Obviously, I hope you enjoyed my last video, which was about, excuse the puffing, I told you I'm really unfit, which is about things to do on the island, where to go. There's lots of little gems if you know where to look. So I hope you enjoyed that. And is there anywhere you like to go or you know of on the island that I didn't mention? Woo! Get me a personal trainer. Crikey. I've missed the sound of the birds. The other thing I was going to say, I might do this in the summer when it's a bit warmer, is the sound of the crickets you hear. Everywhere else I've lived, never hear the sound of the crickets. And I've lived in a few places. I've lived in Sussex as well, Cornwall. Never heard them. Anytime I hear the crickets, that's when I'm out here. And that's one thing I really miss, or have missed. But having said that, when I lived in Surrey, it was so nice because you could just drive to a bit of countryside if you fancied it. They say we're never too far away from a beach, but I found that the beaches have become more and more busy and more packed. That's quite hard. One day I was driving around with daughter and I literally could not find anywhere to park because the beaches were that busy. I've never seen it this insane. So we are suffering an onslaught. Right, I'm just gonna leave it here for the moment because I'm sure the sound of me nearly passing out from lack of exercise and walking now all of a sudden is not great, but I thought at least let you hear the lovely bird song. Not quite sure why this tape is all around this pole. There must be some reason behind it, but I'm not sure what. I'll just come over here and see the milk cows. Morning. Is it going to rain? Is that why you're sitting down? Can it rain when I've just got in? Is that all right? If you could just stand up for me, please, that would be great. What? What? Are you answering me back? Just going on the road now, because if I go the other way, it's a mega long walk. So I'm just going to stick on the road. And I've just realised I've been to the school awards ceremony and I've got stone top. Always classy. Where is it? That's it now. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that beauty. Morning coffee. Don't know how I'm going to get it out. And the other mummies just think, oh, shouldn't really wear white because it's going to be a nightmare to get out. Well done, me. Just realised as well that I've double booked myself again. I did it last week too with meetings and things. There's just so much going on. Sometimes you just feel like you can't keep on top of things. And you know, I said about hills in that video when I went to Bath. This is my favourite hill. Look at this beauty. It's not as bad as the Bath one, but it does actually bend it round and then bends down again. And also just around the corner is Blackgang Chine theme park, where my dad used to do lots of work for. So he used to fix the audio on the dinosaurs and the pet shop, and there was a talking parrot, and there was a weather wizard, of which Dad had to fix the audio and he brought it home, and I had the weather wizard audio on repeat, and yes, it did get rather tiresome. I've since given that audio back to Blackgang because it was in our loft, the weather wizard bits, and I didn't feel it was right, and it's a bit of history, so it needed to go back to its rightful place after Dad had his stroke. I am so chuffed. This has made my day, this has, because not only is the fence gone for the sea view, but they've also put a little plank on my favourite bench. Get in. How can I be this excited about a bench? Well, the reason I'm excited about the bench, because a bit of blue sky, is I practically lived on this bench in my younger years. Yeah, so I'm really happy because I've been having a bit of a rough time and not feeling that great, and come up here. Matt will remember this, and here is the bench. Here it is. And I cannot tell you how many hours I spent on this bench, just thrashing through life and clearing things and sorting things and in my mind. And gosh, it must have been hours. I always brought my friends here when they came to visit. It's the little things, isn't it? It's the little things. So whoever put this plank on the bench, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And oh, it's just so nice. Just listen to that. I could stay here forever. It's so nice. Yeah, muddy boots. Look at that beauty. Never mind. Really don't care. Can rinse it off. My partner's saying, wear sensible shoes. You sure you don't want your wellies? And I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. I'm used to it. And then I get a muddy boot. It's almost like a token of the walk. But it can be washed off, so not bothered. Not bothered. The stilettos are in the cupboard for today. And this is a walk I used to go on so many times when I was a kid. I haven't been down here for ages, and it's a bit muddy. It's not half as bad as further up. It's so peaceful. I really miss this. You get so wrapped up in life and everything's so manic. It's just so nice to just breathe for a minute.